What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Wisconsin Morning. I'm your host, Johannesina, and I'm here with
Walter.
Now, Walter, tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
My hobbies are coloring, wasting time, sleeping. I enjoy petting cats, and I read Fyodor Dostoevsky. And I'm a firm believer that Nicholas I would be the best YouTube prankster if he was alive today.
Nice. Before we go on, let me tell you about how this podcast works. Basically, we just talk about the things we love and the things we're passionate about. But I share a little surprise with you all in the middle of our podcast. And I will say that surprise is something related to holistic medical practices and drugs that I want to bring awareness to, since, as the audience knows, I'm a medical assistant for the Wisconsin Motorcycle Assembly. Now let's start with our first question. You said you think that Nicholas the First was the best YouTube prankster of his time or of this whole existence of the world?
Well, YouTube didn't exist in the 1800s, but I think if it did, he would be the best YouTube prankster.
Oh. And why do you say that?
Okay, so you know how YouTube pranksters today have degraded to just breaking laws and harassing people? Well, Nicholas I actually imprisoned Fyodor Dostoevsky, and he was like, actually, you're being sentenced to death because he wrote some stuff about the Russian government that the Russian government really didn't like. And so Fyodor Dostoevsky and a couple of his friends were placed in front of a firing squad, and at the last minute, the Tsar was like, it's just a prank, bro, and just sent him to 4 years of hard labor in Siberia.
Well, that's quite interesting. Now, how do you believe this tops other YouTube content creators?
Because first of all, he's a Tsar, so he can harass one of the greatest authors of our time. Just imagine how many views that would get. Imagine how viral that would go. He would definitely have a diamond play button and 100 million subscribers if he actually filmed himself, fake executing one of the greatest authors of all time.
I see. Do you think that other YouTubers in this current generation should follow his footsteps in order to create better content?
No.
I see.
Brett Rivera is bad enough.
Now, let me move on to something else. You say Fyodor Dostoevsky is the best, or one of the best authors in this generation. Why do you say that?
Well, because first of all, his books were translated into a bunch of different languages, right? So that means that your books have to be pretty good if you want to spread them to the Western audience. And also, Crime and Punishment explores a lot of deep psychological stuff. It's the first psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Very, very deep mental stuff.
So basically, he created this genre that's now popular now, but if it wasn't for him, we wouldn't have this sort of psychological drama. Psychological.
Yeah. And genre. Also, he got reincarnated into a hot anime boy. So, yeah.
What do you want to tell me? Okay.
Yeah, in the anime Bungo Stray Dogs, which
I thought you said...
I'm bringing this up.
Okay.
So, yeah. But he deserves better than Dazai, I think, definitely. Yeah.
So,
I don't like Dazai.
Well, that's gonna hurt a lot of fangirls out there.
No. I don't like him in real life, and his character is not my favorite, and I'm going to sleep with one eye open tonight.
I hate how you pointed over there to the window.
I didn't point at anything.
I thought there was somebody behind me.
That's so creepy.
Anyway, so is there anything else you'd like to bring up about Dostoevsky or Nicholas I that we haven't covered?
No.
I see.
I think I've explained it well enough, so you don't have to ask any further questions.
Yeah, okay. So since you have read, some works, what do you think makes a good book?
Definitely one that's like is easy to understand to a lot of readers. Like I know I've like quit books just because they were like really confusing, and also I think that it's really important to see where the author, like what the author has gone through. Like in Crime and Punishment, the slums are like really detailed because Dostoevsky was really poor and he lived in the slums. So I think that, if you knew that, then that would be cool. And also, I like books that you don't have to do a lot of research on the author beforehand to understand, especially with like classic literature.
But do you think that if you simplify the book too much, do you think that it will remove any sort of complex themes that the author could have given because other people don't understand them at that time? Because, I mean, I'm assuming that when you say that it has to be somewhat simple for the audience to understand, you're talking about for that generation, it has to be simple. But for Crime and Punishment, for Dostoevsky, he was arrested, right?
Yeah.
That means that people at his time didn't understand his messages, but nowadays we can understand his messages. Do you think if he had simplified his message to fit that audience, do you think it really would have had the impact it had now?
No, but then again, his audience didn't have like the resources that we did, I think. Because now we have a bunch of like video essays and like articles on Dostoevsky, and I think at the time there weren't any. Like,
Yeah.
and also they come from like really esteemed people that are really smart and they know what they're talking about.
Like teenagers.
Yes, like exactly. Like me. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, Walter, how old are you?
19.
19.
19, yes. I'm a teenager.
Yeah. Barely hanging on to your youth
Yeah.
before taxes.
Well, I can drink in 2 years, so that'll be pretty cool. Legally. I can drink legally in 2 years.
Yeah. We're gonna skip whatever that was. Okay. Now, you'll say that you also like coloring.
Yes.
So, explain about that. Explain that.
Well, I think it's a very manly thing to like coloring.
And why is that?
I don't know. It's like relaxing. You get to color pretty pictures. It's not hard because all the work's been done for you, basically. Like, all you have to do is color it in. You can choose, like, pretty colors and waste, like, a couple hours. And as you know, I'm a big advocate for wasting time.
That sounds very manly.
Yes, it is.
Do you, by any chance, have any questions for me?
Well,
because I want to remind you all that this isn't an interview. This is an open conversation that we have to each other.
Well, are there any ancient works that you have read that you like? Well, I mean, they're not ancient, but like classics.
Now, I will say that as a Hindu, not that I'm Indian per se, like I'm white and American, but like
You're very white.
Yeah.
You're like the epitome of white.
Yeah. So basically, my sources have, as a child, my sources have told me a bunch about the, Hindu mythologies back then. Like a little bit of stories from Mahabharata, the other one, Ramayana,
I don't know, but continue.
Yeah, Shiva. As for, past generation stuff, I like those other stuff. Okay.
Osamu Dazai? Please
There's
continue.
There's only one of him.
Please continue.
Well, I mean, like, yeah.
Actually, Dazai is considered Japan's Dostoevsky, so we have great taste.
I remember in one of his books, he said that Dostoevsky had a mush brain or something along the line of that. Like his brain is a swamp, a marsh, But he also commended him for the in that part of the book he was talking about. I guess you could say it was this antonyms or something of that sort, and he commended Dostoevsky for finding the best antonym of crime, which I must say, I mean, I agree that was a pretty solid antonym.
Okay, so Osamu Dazai, one of his... I'm going.
Oh,
I'm establishing my dominance
sorry,
here in this conversation. So one of his greatest works is No Longer Human. So what do you think makes No Longer Human so good?
I think it was a lot of his works, especially that one, it's really emotions related. Now, I will say that there were some scenes where I thought maybe it didn't keep up with the times, especially because it's coming from a male perspective. I'm not saying that, he's the worst person on earth. He's not like he's Hitler, but like he was flawed. He was flawed. And he puts his flaws a lot in his books. And I think just even though obviously I can't relate to being addicted to morphine or drinking or using tobacco, I can really understand the emotional impact from how his decisions, whether he said that they're from someone else or from him, have really impacted his attitude towards himself. And again, I'm not saying like, oh, he's like, poor him, like everything was against him. I do think that some of them, as for everybody, we have some sort of control over our own lives. But I just think just the way that it's been expressed, just seeing how the other person feels, it's in a way sort of relatable.
You sounded a lot smarter than me. I'm gonna put that out right now.
Thank you.
My favorite part was how Dazai abandoned his wife and his kids, and he committed double suicide with his mistress in some river, like a year after No Longer Human was published.
Woo! Speaking of which, we're not at the 15-minute mark, but would you like to shift gears with me? Would you like to shift gears? Would you like me to change the topic? Just say yes.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, medicine time. So, Walter, you're short, right?
Yeah, I am short, but not that short. I'm just kind of short.
I don't care. I don't care. Well,
you sound a little like my sister.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I'm sorry. Anyway,
I'm gonna go into a corner and I'm gonna cry after this, and I'm gonna cancel you on Twitter. I'm going to find your mom's Facebook account, and I'm going to tell her all the mean things you said to me. Be scared.
Wow. Okay. Have you seen those pills being sold on Amazon for height growth?
Yes.
Yeah? Yes? Yeah,
Yes.
I mean, I have too, okay? In fact, I even had to try it out for myself. Whether it worked or not, I'll give it at the end of my whole spiel. And I want to share with you something that's called ashwagandha. So basically, Withania somnifera, or most commonly called winter cherry, or in India, ashwagandha, is an Ayurvedic medicine used for a multitude of purposes. Like, according to the Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, which is a .org website, it's regularly used for decreasing levels of stress, anxiety, fatigue, joint pain, and the likelihood of diabetes. The same center there also said that there's been claims that it reduces cancer cells, which, though the effects are not very well known on human cells, it's still is being understood. Now, here's the thing. There are multiple claims on what this drug does. One such effect is height growth, which is good for you.
Wow.
But there is not a lot of research known about the height growth factor. Like, if you've seen credible websites before, .org, .edu,
.gov, my favorite.
.gov, you don't see a lot of research into holistic medicines, and that's because, we're trying to, better decrease the likelihood of cancer. We're looking at new diseases popping up. COVID just happened a couple of years ago. It's still happening in small amounts. There's still a lot of other diseases going on, but the thing is, what do you think is... And the thing is, the research I got that's mostly there on the internet up front on this ashwagandha stuff, on any holistic medicine stuff, is from blogs, which, according to school, is not really a reliable source, right? So why do you think that is? Do you think that it's the fault of organizations? It's the fault of research centers for not focusing on holistic medical stuff when, there's been a lot of claims that it has all these benefits? Or do you think it's really the fault of the blogs, the blog posters, there are people out there lying about the effects of the medicine? And if so, why do you think that side is wrong?
Okay. Well, that's a lot. You just threw at me.
I'll summarize it for you. Do you think that it's the fault of research centers for not researching into it more, or it's the fault of people for just giving too much information, saying, oh, it has all these benefits, when it's not been proven?
I think the answer lies somewhere in the middle. Do I think research centers could, research on the holistic medicine? Yeah. But then again, I don't know if it's a priority, because as you said, COVID happened, so obviously COVID would be a priority. There's also terminal illness, like cancer and stuff like that. And so maybe they think that researching holistic medicine just isn't a priority, because why should you learn about height growth? Short people just should just stop being short. Just suck it up.
Yeah, you suck it up.
But height isn't a big deal. It can be a big deal for some people. Some people who are really short, but I don't think it's that big a priority.
It's not a danger level threat.
Yeah, people aren't dying because they're short,
And even the stuff saying that, oh, it reduces cancer cells. Yeah, we can go into that. We can find those things, and I think it is worth finding out if, testing these medicines with all these claims. It's not just, oh, it increases height. That's what ashwagandha do. It's actually considered as a miracle medicine. It grows out hair. It does more than just height, But with all these claims, there's not a lot of... Even though I won't say that, oh, research centers, they have the best research, because some of them are sponsored, some of them have their own biases. But research from a credible website, it is important to people, I think, because there is a lot of misinformation. You can say, oh, it's just people not trusting enough, but how can you trust that much on sources when there's been past events that have occurred where misinformation is pretty prevalent nowadays,
Yeah, because especially I think in the 2023, which it's like July. It's the end of July. It's already been dubbed like the year of YouTube apologies. I think, and like there are a lot of YouTubers who are just crappy people, and also YouTubers who have ukulele skills, and YouTubers who don't. But yeah, I do think that's a ridiculous amount of trust in one person for like medicine. Like I know that they could like easily be lying. Like where's their proof?
The thing is, from what I've experienced, there's a lot of sort of nationalistic concern, especially because these things are holistic medicines, right? They've been used before modern medicine, and so people are saying, if they've been used before, why can't you trust them? But the thing is, then we have researchers saying, on the other hand, we have all this developed technology, why don't you trust us? How do we know who to trust? Like, we're at the young age of 40, 60 years old, right?
Yes, 60 years young.
Yeah, 60 years young. How can you expect us, either side, to trust each other if we don't really know the truth? We won't know the truth unless if there's like some sort of joint connection between the two.
Just find out, I guess.
Just find out.
Just
wait until we're 100 and maybe we'll get the answer.
Just survive.
If we live to 100.
Yeah, like your ancestors,
You know they say tall people die faster than short people. Good for you. I'm sorry. This is just really...
Wait, are you calling me tall or are you calling me short now?
Do you want to live or do you want to die? Jeez.
Because before you were like, you're short, but now you're like, tall people die faster, so good for you. Wait, is it good that I'm dying faster? Are you calling me tall? And am I finally achieving my dreams?
Okay, what are your views on holistic medicine?
I think that I could definitely try holistic medicine. Yeah, I think it's like a good alternative to, just being pumped with chemicals and taking pills when you could, take some berries. Eat some berries. Drink some tea. Yeah. But would I trust holistic medicine? I think no. I think it's just a good alternative to modern medicine. Like a chiropractor, right? Like chiropractors haven't really been proven to help you out. But people still go to them when they first get injured, which is really bad. Because you're freshly injured and this guy's freaking cracking your bones like there's no tomorrow. But some people go to chiropractors as an alternative. So I think it's kind of like that.
Really,
I definitely wouldn't go to holistic medicine
by yourself,
as my first choice.
Yeah.
But if the opportunity arises, then I definitely would.
Okay. I didn't know about the chiropractors.
Yeah, and also people have been seriously injured because of malpractice in chiropractic.
Yeah.
So.
Oh well.
Yeah. So don't do chiropractors, guys. Right now I'm issuing a boycott or a girlcott or a peoplecott to be inclusive against chiropractors.
I wonder if there's gonna be some sort of those Sigma male edits where in the beginning they'll have all these new gen sort of
yeah
stuff, and then you saying people caught, it's gonna be in that video, and then after that they're gonna show these muscular guys.
Watch the beat drop. What with the funk music.
Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. Okay, so I have tried this growth medicine, and I'll say it was after a couple of years after my growth spurt. So I wouldn't grow as much, and from that I think I have grown about half an inch. However, I got off it, and also I didn't keep eating it. I didn't keep using it frequently. In fact, there's been days where I skipped months of it. So
There's been days where you skipped months.
there's been months where I've skipped months.
Nice.
Yes. So according to my dear mother, she said, "Oh, this ashwagandha stuff, there, it's really working for you." But then, knowing the stuff that she doesn't know, I realize it. I feel that it's more of something that I naturally did, and when I was using it, daily, I did notice that for a month I did grow half an inch. However, sadly, I didn't keep the grind of eating, swallowing ashwagandha. So
Did it taste good?
it tasted. Like you're not chewing it, right? So it's just like take it and swallow. It's a little bit thick though.
I see.
A little thick. But
Because I know when my mom brought me to like the traditional Chinese medicine and they gave you like a bunch of herbs to chew, that is gross. It looked and tasted like it belonged in a sewer.
oh, that's
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, herbs aren't supposed to, unless if you use them for cooking, in which case you use them kind of, I don't know the word, but strategically, it's not supposed to taste good, I don't think. Because if it did, that means that they put like some sugar, some salt, rotisserie chicken did.
Yeah, but it sucked, especially when you had to drink a mug of that stuff. And now you're giving me more flashbacks, and I think I should contact my therapist. Just kidding, I'm a man. I don't believe in therapy.
I see.
Mental health is a sham.
So, we have about 5 more minutes of this. So, what do you want to end off on?
I don't know. Do you like cats? Do you like dogs?
I like dogs.
Nice.
Do you like cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Dogs. And why would you say dogs? I'm asking you.
Because they're friendly.
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 Friendly, yes. They're a lot more friendly than cats.
That's yes.
They don't tear up your stuff. They don't rip it to shreds. They chew it to shreds. Yeah, but
have you seen my 9 fish before?
yeah, I've seen pictures. I haven't seen them in the flesh.
Yeah, you should. I'll show you them. Not you guys, though.
The thing one was actually delicious.
What? Why would you say that? By the way, chat, thing one was my fish that died. He was just a teenage boy and he died. He died from a disease or whatever. And this buffoon was Is this for me calling you short all the time?
No. I'm just surprised that I remembered your fish's name. But anyway, his bones made a nice little crunch.
Yeah, I didn't care.
Why am I crying?
Maybe it's the emotions finally getting to you.
No, like, I swear, like, I was like, oh, like, I never cry, and then when I laugh, I cry.
It's kind of weird how we're 60 years old and we still use like and but in our like in our you know the videos talking about the English language and basically how a lot of people see us Americans as like we say like
Yeah.
even in this sentence I said like we say, okay. Yeah, it's just an interesting
Yeah. Why do they have to have like fancy words like haberdashery and stuff? And then you know what they do? They omit the word the. Like if you would say, they wouldn't say let's go to the hospital. They just say let's go to hospital. Like how do you have the audacity to have such fancy sounding words and then you like just don't use the word the? Like make it make sense.
Yes, there's like some cultural differences between the mother and the daughter, the mother and the child. the mother and the child because
Is it
colonialism.
is it the son now? Because the Brits have a king.
We still have a couple more minutes left, you know. How about
Hey, have you read anything by the epic author Atsushi Nakajima? I think he's an icon, and I think he's very underrated. And
I haven't. I'm
yeah.
not really a big reader.
Anyway, he researched. He wrote a lot of short stories, and they were set in like ancient China. Like his most famous one is Moon Over the Mountain. And I think it's pretty good because you can read it and you can enjoy it and you don't have to know anything about Atsushi Nakajima prior to reading the story, and you don't have to read anything after reading. You can just read the story and you can enjoy it and you can go on your day. It's pretty good, I think.
Have you ever read Obama stuff?
It's his book 1,000 pages long, like his like autobiography or something.
His stuff is kind of long, but I will say it is entertaining.
No, I haven't read his stuff.
I mean, okay, whether you have the same worldviews as him, it's interesting how another person's life goes. You know.
Mm-hmm. I think Obama's very relatable because I too have been president of the United States of America.
Oh.
I haven't. That's the joke. Because it's not relatable.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's like Prince Harry's memoir. Freaking Brits. Yes, the Brits.
Is there anything you want to end off with the audience?
Be who you are. Watch my TikToks. Just joking. I don't upload any TikToks. Don't do TikTok.
Yeah, it's the same as drugs.
It's bad for hugs, not TikToks.
What? Okay.
No, it's like hugs, not drugs. But since we compared drugs to TikTok, it's hugs, not TikTok.